everyone, and welcome back to Talk English Now. I'm your host, Maya. Have you ever been in a meeting, shared a great idea, only to have it completely ignored? Then 5 minutes later, someone else says the exact same thing and everyone calls it brilliant? It's a frustrating, deflating experience that has less to do with the quality of your ideas and everything to do with the power of your words.
And I'm your co-host, Aiden. That feeling is the absolute worst. It's like your voice is on mute even when you're speaking. You know you have the skills, you've done the work, but you feel like you're not being taken seriously, stuck on the sidelines while others are in the game. Today, we're flipping the switch. We're going to turn your volume up and make sure that when you speak, people don't just hear you, they listen, they remember, and they respect what you have to say.
That's right. Today's episode is called Talk Like a Leader, 7 powerful English phrases that instantly command respect. This isn't about being loud, aggressive, or arrogant. This is about using language that is so clear, confident, and assertive that it makes your influence undeniable. And to help us unlock this verbal power, our fantastic language and communication expert, Sophie, is back with us. Welcome, Sophie.
It's great to be back, Maya and Aiden. I am so passionate about this topic because I see it constantly. Brilliant, talented professionals, often non-native speakers who are incredibly skilled, are held back by a single, invisible barrier, their own hesitant language. They use words that unintentionally signal a lack of confidence, effectively asking for permission to be heard.
Asking for permission to be heard. That really hits home. So before we get to the phrases, can you expand on that? What's the psychological difference between standard polite English and the language of a leader?
It's a fantastic question, Maya, because it gets to the root of the problem. Standard polite English, especially for many learners, is filled with what linguists call softeners or hedges. These are words designed to cushion your language to avoid giving offense. Words like maybe, perhaps, I feel like, kind of, sort of, just. The intention is good, to be agreeable and collaborative.
But the result is that you sound uncertain and weak.
Exactly. It creates a self-sabotaging loop. You use weak language because you feel a little unconfident. Because you use weak language, your ideas aren't taken as seriously. When your ideas aren't taken seriously, your confidence drops further. And what do you do next time? You use even weaker language. A leader's language breaks that cycle. It's built on the foundation of clarity, conviction, and ownership. It's direct without being rude. It doesn't ask for respect. It presumes it, because it is inherently respectable. The good news is, anyone can learn to do this by adopting specific, strategic phrases.
Okay, I think we're all ready to break that cycle. Let's dive into the first one.
Wonderful. The first phrase tackles a moment of everyday interaction, needing to speak with someone who is busy. The weak, common approach is to shuffle up and say, "Sorry to bother you, but..."
Guilty. I say that at least 5 times a day. It feels like the only polite way to interrupt someone. What's wrong with it?
What's wrong is the subtext. You are starting the interaction with an apology. You are communicating, "My needs are a bother. What I have to say is an interruption and is probably not as important as what you are doing." It immediately puts you in a one-down, lower status position. The leader's alternative is phrase number 1. Is now a good time?
Oh, that's so simple, but the energy is completely different. Is now a good time?
Notice the shift. You are not apologizing. You are confidently acknowledging that you have something of value to discuss, and you are respectfully inquiring about their availability. You signal that you value your time and their time. It's a peer-to-peer interaction, not a subordinate to superior one. If they say, "No, I'm in the middle of something," your follow-up is equally confident. "I understand. When would be a better time to connect for 5 minutes? You remain in control and ensure the conversation happens on terms of mutual respect.
That's a total game changer. It's polite, but it's a confident politeness. I'm going to start using that immediately.
Phrase number 2 is for when you need to share your opinion in a group. This is where so many great ideas die. The weak approach is littered with hedges. I just feel like maybe. Or this is just my opinion. But. Or I don't know. But it seems to me. These phrases scream, don't take this too seriously. I'm not even sure about it myself. To command respect, you replace all of that with phrase number 2. My recommendation is.
My recommendation is. Wow, that has such a different weight to it. It's not just an opinion, it's a proposed course of action. It implies you've thought about it.
It implies competence. Other strong variations are my perspective is, or my analysis shows, or the data leads me to conclude. But my recommendation is uniquely powerful because it's forward-looking and solution-oriented. It positions you as a problem solver. Let's paint a picture. Weak version. I kind of feel like maybe we should be doing more on social media. I don't know. It just seems like we're falling behind. Strong version. My recommendation is to reallocate 10% of our marketing budget to a targeted Instagram and TikTok campaign for the next quarter. My analysis shows our key demographic is most active there. Which person would you trust to lead that project? It's not even a contest.
The second one a million times over. Okay, so we know how to start a conversation and how to share an opinion, but what about the really tricky one, when we disagree with someone, especially someone more senior?
This is perhaps the most advanced leadership skill. The weak approach is often to stay silent and then complain later. Another weak approach is the passive-aggressive phrase, yes, but. The word but is an eraser. It dismisses everything that came before it and instantly makes the other person defensive. The leader's alternative is phrase number 3. I see it differently.
I see it differently. It's not accusatory. It's not saying you're wrong. It's simply stating a fact. Your perspective is different.
Exactly. It's collaborative, not combative. The key is to deliver it with a calm, respectful tone and to validate their contribution first. For instance, thank you for that analysis, John. I see it differently. From my perspective, the primary bottleneck is in production, not shipping. The data from last month's report seems to support this. Could we take a look at that together? You've shown you listened. You've stated your position clearly. And you've invited collaboration to find the right answer. You are disagreeing with the idea, not the person.
That completely reframes it. It's not a confrontation, it's a joint problem-solving exercise. That makes it feel so much less scary.
Phrase number 4 is about taking responsibility when things go wrong. The weak approach is to find blame. It wasn't my fault. The sales team gave me the wrong numbers, or to make vague, passive excuses, mistakes were made. A leader stands in the fire. The phrase is, I'll take ownership of that. Here's the plan to fix it.
Wow, that is accountability on a whole other level. But what if it genuinely wasn't entirely your fault? Isn't it unfair to take the blame?
That's the key distinction. There is a difference between blame and ownership. Blame looks backwards to find a person to punish. Ownership looks forward to find a solution. Even if a supplier was late, as the project manager, you own the project's success. Saying, I'll take ownership of this delay doesn't mean it was all my fault. It means, I am responsible for the outcome, and I am taking control of the solution. Immediately following up with, here's the plan, is what makes it so powerful. It demonstrates integrity, competence, and calms everyone's anxiety.
So it's about shifting from being a victim of circumstances to being the driver of the solution. That's a huge mental shift. What's phrase number 5?
Phrase number 5 is about delegation or making a request. The weak approach is apologetic or overly casual. Hey, sorry, if you have a spare second, do you think you could maybe possibly look at this for me? This signals that the task is unimportant and that you feel bad for asking. The leader's alternative is phrase number 5. To move this project forward, I need your expertise on specific task.
That completely reframes the request. It's not a chore you're dumping on someone. You're telling them their specific skill, their expertise is vital to a larger, important goal.
It does 2 crucial things. First, it provides context and purpose to move this project forward. Second, it shows value and respect. I need your expertise. It makes people feel seen and important, which is incredibly motivating. Compare, can you do this report? To Sarah, to get this proposal to the board, I need your expertise in data visualization. No one presents data as clearly as you do. You then create accountability with a clear question. Can you commit to having a draft to me by Thursday EOD?
That makes the other person feel like a valued partner, not an assistant. I can see how that would get a much better, more enthusiastic response. We have 2 left. What's number 6?
Number 6 is the counterpart to making a request, saying no. This is incredibly difficult for many professionals who want to be seen as team players. The weak approach is a long, rambling apology, or worse, a hesitant, I'll try, which is usually a slow yes that leads to burnout. The strong, respectful phrase is phrase number 6. My current priorities are X and Y, so I can't take that on right now.
That's so direct yet professional. You're not just saying no, you're explaining why in the context of business objectives. You're not being unhelpful, you're being strategic.
You are protecting your focus to ensure you deliver excellence on your core commitments, which is the highest form of being a team player. A powerful follow-up is to offer a helpful alternative. However, my schedule should free up next quarter if the timeline is flexible. Or, while I can't take this on, have you considered asking Mark from marketing? His recent work on the brand guide would be a great asset here. You are being helpful and collaborative while still maintaining your boundaries.
That's the perfect balance. A no that actually builds respect. Okay, what's our final 7th phrase to bring it all home?
The 7th and final phrase is for ending a discussion and driving action. Too often, great meetings end with a fizzle. Everyone's talked, and then there's an awkward silence. People ask, so what are the next steps? The leader prevents this ambiguity. Phrase number 7 is, so the action items are.
It cuts right through the noise. It takes all the conversation and distills it into a concrete plan. The person who does that automatically sounds like the one in charge.
They become the leader in that moment, regardless of their official title, because they're the one creating clarity and momentum. You can say, excellent discussion, everyone. To summarize, the action items are, Aiden will contact the supplier for a new quote. Maya will draft the client communication. And I will finalize the revised budget by Friday. Does everyone agree on these next steps? It demonstrates you are listening, you can synthesize complex information, and you are biased towards action. It's the ultimate leadership move, turning talk into tangible progress.
Wow. Those 7 phrases are a complete toolkit for confidence. It really feels like it's not just about the words, but the entire mindset behind them.
That is the most important takeaway. These phrases are training wheels for a new mindset. The goal is to start seeing yourself as a person whose voice deserves to be heard, whose time is valuable, and whose recommendations matter. Start with just one of these phrases this week. Practice it in low-stakes situations until it feels natural. Then add another.
Sophie, this has been an incredible masterclass. Let's recap the 7 phrases one last time for everyone taking notes. Is now a good time? My recommendation is, I see it differently. I'll take ownership of that. Here's the plan to fix it. To move this forward, I need your expertise on. My current priorities are X and Y, so I can't take that on right now. So the action items are...
This has been unbelievably practical and empowering. Thank you so much, Sophie. I think our listeners are going to be walking into their next meeting feeling about 10 feet tall.
It was my absolute pleasure. Just remember, leadership is not a position. It's a behavior. And it starts with the words you choose. Practice with purpose. Be patient with yourself, and you will be heard.